With that, I will start. Good afternoon. I am here with Patti Siola, who was the president from 1977 to 78, I believe.
No, I think I was more in the 90s.
90s. Yes, I'm sorry, 90s. You were right after Nancy,
Yes,
after the 35th anniversary. So that would have been
yes.
58, 93, 94, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was in that area, mid 90s. Yeah.
Okay. So when you joined the state council, were you a staff member, educator, clinical staff, management? How did you
Uh, I
start
was
out?
actually I was actually a staff pharmacist at Buffalo General, and I think that my involvement with the organization should be a testament to how it actually works. In that, Beth Ludwig came up to me and said, "Patty, would you like to help me be a co-editor of I think it was the local newsletter?" Again, we're going back 30 years, so the memory is a little shaky. But there had been calls all the time. Oh, did you want to do this for the organization? Did you want to do that? And I never answered that call until somebody, Beth, tapped me on the shoulders and said, "Will you help me?" And once that happened, I just kept going. I just kept going.
Okay, so that leads into the second question is who did you meet that made you want to advance in the organization?
Yeah, it was Beth. Like I say, she was just I felt that she wanted me to participate. And so I wanted to participate for her. And then, once I got involved in the organization, I myself wanted to continue to be a part of it up until I went through the ranks in presidency.
Okay, so you said presidency, so that leads me to my next question. How many of the previous past presidents did you know and what were they like?
Well, I was mostly connected with the local people who had become past presidents, in that it was like Jack Katrinas and Susan Hunt. And then Nancy DeLegro and I had become friends from the board perspective. So that kind of broadened my perspective from just the Buffalo kind of area, and moved me more to the downstate area. And Nancy and I were friends, and she really again tapped into me to kind of follow her lead up through the presidency.
Okay. Were there any challenges did you see as a member, a board member, or president of the organization?
Well, I think my challenges that I really saw mostly became as I went through the organization. I was president for the Western New York chapter. And so then there was always challenges of getting people involved and membership at that point. On the board of directors for the state council, we were going through a challenge with the council office. We were really in transition, again, the transition from being a volunteer organization to have paid management staff leading the organization, then to the transition to paid pharmacist staff to lead the organization. So that was certainly a very challenging time to go through that transition.
Okay. Now, membership always seems to be an issue. Do you remember what members wanted during your presidency?
And again, we need to remember that was a long time ago. So at that point, what we were looking for, what the members were looking for is some connection to the organization. And that connection could have been they were looking for support for Joint Commission. They were looking for legal status. And I think it was mostly the legal piece of it. Again, we go back this time, we were just starting in the infancy of pharmacist recognition. So we did not have mandatory continuing education. So what they were really looking for is what could the council do to help them go farther in essentially having pharmacy recognized as a discipline, and recognition leading to reimbursement, those types of things. We didn't have a mandatory PharmD, the degree. was not that point. So really the members were looking to the council office and to the president to continue down a path that would give us professional recognition, state level, nationally, and that's what I truly felt we could tap into to get people more involved within the organization.
Okay. How often did the board meet, and was it organized and professional, more camaraderie? Was it face-to-face, conference call?
We did a little bit of everything. We did conference calls. We met face to face. I think it was more on a quarterly basis. Again, my memory from 30 years ago isn't as great as it would have been then, but it was a very friendly, very collegial atmosphere. We all supported each other, and we all recognized the challenges that we needed to do to bring members in. And one thing that I just felt so strongly about, because my experience, what I felt people needed, the members needed to get involved in our organization was to have something that they could connect with. And so the theme for my presidency was we shape the future of pharmacy. And what I tried to do is to tap into the members, the chapters, the board, to take, and even the council office, to take that tagline, we shape the future of pharmacy, and what role would they have in shaping the future of pharmacy? I felt it was important to talk to the members. So now we're talking the staff members within the hospitals, and to say to them, what can you do to shape the future of pharmacy? And as part of my presidential term, one thing that was important to me was to ask accountability out of, for example, the chapters. And in each chapter challenge, I had a chapter challenge during my presidency. The chapter could choose whatever piece of the organization they wanted to focus on and shape. And at the usual, the quarterly meetings, they would provide a report of what that was. For example, some of them chose membership, to increase membership. Some of them chose to reach out to the community and do, like brown bags, just community types of efforts. Some chose to try to increase the recognition within their hospitals by connecting more with nursing, connecting more with physicians. So each chapter was allowed to pick what was important to their chapter and how were they going to shape the future of pharmacy based on the goal that they chose within their chapter. And I just think it really helped the members, the presidents, the chapters focus on, all right, what can they do to support the organization? Yeah, what the organization can do for them, of course, is important. But what are the chapters, the members, the staff, what are they going to do to shape the future of pharmacies, to shape their future, because they are the future of pharmacy? I happen to think that it worked well because people had a goal. They had something that they would work on. They could see it. It was tangible. They could look at that goal, shape the future of pharmacy, and what can I do to be a part of that goal? And I really think it inspired them. I was very happy with the way it went. My presidential messages every month, I would say, what have I done over the past month to shape the future of pharmacy? So I held myself accountable as well. And I was very pleased with the way things went. I felt very inspired.
Okay, good, excellent. Now, the annual assembly, one of our biggest meetings. When you became a member, well, when you were president, what do you remember about your annual assembly? Was it, and I'll say this in a positive sense, chaotic, sedate, you know?
Well, I would go to the annual assemblies for years before I became president. So, I was familiar, again, at that point, they were done in the Catskills, and it was a very collegial, it was a very friendly grouping. So you wanted to go because you would see your friends there from the years before. You would see friends from chapters that you didn't routinely see, but you remembered them. You knew they were part of the organization. So it was really it was a very friendly group, and we enjoyed going. We wanted to go. So it wasn't just the directors that went, it wasn't just the leaders of the organization, it were the members. The members came, and they saw the attitude, the collegial, the friendship that they could make there, connections within the profession, and we had a good time.
Okay. As your presidency, when you were president, did you find that the meeting, because there's so much going on, did you have time to breathe?
Well, I always was nervous during that time because I wanted it to go well. I wanted to connect with as many people as I could to try to, again, get people involved in the organization. So I felt it was my mission to connect with people at the assemblies, to try to bring them further into the organization, to show them how they could make a difference within the organization. So I was very busy, and I felt a lot of pressure to do that. But then when it was done, I would reflect back on the people I did connect with. A couple of years later, I'd reflect on how now some of these people have become part of the organization. So I really actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay. All right. The new generation. How do you feel about the new generation? Their philosophy is a little different than our philosophy of the baby boomers, where, we had drive and, to achieve what we did, we had to go through hoops and milestones. What is your impressions about the new generation? Can they move our council forward?
I think that it's a two-way street. I think we as the council need to provide a connection to the members so that they can see the value that the organization brings. But I also believe from the members' point of view, times granted, they have changed. People have family responsibilities, but there's still, it's a profession where to be where you want to be, even in terms of a job and where you want to go within your career, it's all about connections. And so I really think that we as an organization need to make those connections, show the members how being a part of an organization can connect them with other leaders within their area. And then if they choose to move to another area through having connections within the professional organization, they can do that. I just think that what we can offer, the council can offer to members, is the connections that they're looking for.
Okay.
So that hasn't changed. Connections are everything.
Yeah. Any final nuggets you'd want to impart on future presidents or future members that want to be president?
I just think it's so important to tell your story, to talk to the people in your chapter, in your hospital, talk to them about what a difference they can make within the organization. It isn't all about me, it's about them, and what can they do to help the organization to be better. Who inspires them? Who do they want to be like? What do they see in someone that they want to emulate? And tap into that, touch that piece of the person that you can connect with, and then help them move forward within their career, within the organization. Those are the type of people that you want to lead the organization, those that have a connection to our profession, because our profession is so important. And you need those people who feel the passion for the profession, and they will lead the organization.
Okay, thank you. And with that, we will conclude this session.